Did you know that in the ancient biblical text of the Book of Enoch, there's vivid descriptions of multiracial aliens called Anunnaki who went against God and slept with the daughters of men, and they bore great giant offspring? Enoch, who was the great-grandfather of biblical Noah, also known as Zisudra, recounts Noah being albino with blue eyes and a son of Enki, the Sumerian water god. Interestingly, the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD chose to exclude this book from the Bible due to its detailed accounts of encounters with alien beings known as the Anunnaki, who interacted with our ancient ancestors. Today, we're going to reveal the complete historical records from the Book of Enoch and the Lost Book of Enki, shedding light on these events from ancient times. Enoch, a righteous and just man favored by the Lord God Enki, described a time before the first great flood. He witnessed extraordinary events, such as being taken up into the sky in a burning disc or chariot, where he saw the earth as a massive sphere, which in modern terms, this could be interpreted as an experience of being on a spaceship, viewing the planet Earth from beyond its atmosphere. During Enoch's time, humanity was peaceful, offering rituals and sacrifices to both their god and gods. Ritually, these gods accepted the offerings and stored them for later use, thus no longer needing to farm or grow their own food on this planet. The humans could do it for them. Enki, a compassionate, wise but lustrous water god, was left in charge of Earth after his brother Enlil was away off planet. He held great affection for human men and also the daughters they produced. This led to him having relations with Lamech's wife, Betanos. Lamech, the grandson of Enoch, was driven and overjoyed to hear the birth of a son from Betanos. Little did he know the great shock that awaited him. The following verse from Book of Enoch 105 reads, "After a time, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech. She became pregnant by him and brought forth a child, the flesh of which was as white as snow and red as a rose, the hair of whose head was white like wool and long, and whose eyes were beautiful. When he opened them, he illuminated all the house, like the sun. The whole house abounded with light. And when he was taken from the hand of the midwife, opening also his mouth, he spoke to the Lord of righteousness. Then Lamech his father was afraid of him, and flying away came to his own father Methuselah, and said, I have begotten a son, unlike to other children. He is not human, but resembling the offspring of the angels of heaven, is of a different nature from ours, being altogether unlike to us." Enoch's depiction in this passage reveals that Noah, also known as Zisudra, possessed the distinctive trait of being an albino. He bore striking physical resemblances to some of messengers and deities, commonly referred to as the Anunnaki. This uniqueness set him apart from other humans, as the descendants of Adam had a dark skin complexion during this time. A pivotal moment arrived when the secret transgressions of the Lord God Enki, laying and sleeping with earth women, was unveiled to the Anunnaki watchers. A law forbidden by their solemn oaths, even by the Prince of Nibiru. These Anunnaki, who toiled as laborers and watchers of men, became aware of the forbidden birth of Noah, Enki's son. The watchers fueling with feelings of envy, rebellion, and jealousy. The culmination of these emotions led the 200 watchers to defy the orders and decrees of God, namely Anu the father and his son Enki. The 200 watchers, led by Semjaza, took oaths to proceed with their plan to mate with human women. The following chapter 3 of the book Enoch reads, "And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200. who descended down from heaven in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. The next following passage reads, "And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them, and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless rogue Anunnaki, who married the human women, and taught the children of men forbidden knowledge of the gods. 9 fallen Anunnaki were the heads of this rebellion against their lords. The first was Azazel, who taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all of their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings, Armaros the resolving of enchantments, Barakiel taught astrology, Kokabel the constellations, Ezekiel the knowledge of the clouds, Arakiel the signs of the earth, Shamsiel the signs of the sun, and Sariel the course of the moon. And when the daughters of men became pregnant from the fallen watchers, some fatally died during childbirth. And those who survived bared great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, around 12 to 32 feet in height, and who then consumed all the acquisitions of men. In this ancient Ethiopian biblical text of Enoch, a verse mentions these giants in Numbers 13:33, which reads, "And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, who come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight." The Nephilim's existence disrupted the natural order and brought about violence and corruption on the planet. The still loyal Anunnaki informed Enki, and Enki then ordered the Watchers to be captured and killed. But by this time, their offspring had already spread. The colossal Nephilim, born from the union of Anunnaki males and earthly women, were depicted as mostly distorted giants. However, some looked similar to man, besides giant height. This new race possessed remarkable might and towering stature, akin to demigods in comparison to humans. They wielded extraordinary capabilities and gained renown for their immense power. Nevertheless, their presence wrought havoc upon the harmonious balance. The sons of Anunnaki gods became enemies of man. They ravaged villages to feed their hunger, ate babies and drank the blood of the men they murdered, with little physical effort. Yet humanity concealed greater strength and ferocity than initially apparent. The sons of man waged a retaliatory struggle, culminating in the defeat of numerous mighty giants. The humans were keen, strong, intelligent, and resourceful. The battles continued until the progeny of both deities and mortals stood as adversaries in parallel, locked in conflict. It was then the cries of death from humanity and the giants reached the heavens. Enki and his brother Enlil, along with the Nibiru High Council, decided that a massive flood was the only assurance to eliminate the Nephilim giants for good off of the earth. They agreed that within 1 week's time, the Great Flood would be initiated by Lord God Enki and Lord God Enlil. However, Enki was conflicted due to his love for his earthly son Noah, known as Zisudra. That very night in his quarters in Adam's calendar, which is modern-day South Africa, Enki had a deep dream vision in which a mystery emissary appears to Enki, and this emissary instructed Enki to save humanity through his son Noah. Enki believes this mysterious emissary in his vision is the great creator of all, the creator that all beings in the universe must falter to. Prohibited from addressing his son directly, he approaches Noah's dwelling and communicates with Noah through the house barrier, urging him to awaken and prepare for an impending cataclysmic flood set to engulf the world in 7 days. Enki then secretly guided Noah to build a submarine-like boat to survive the impending flood and collect and preserve essential DNA samples for restarting life on Earth. The flood was triggered by a technological weapon from Nibiru's mothership initiated by Enki and Enlil themselves. The The weapon sent out a beam towards Earth's ice sheet and caused it to slip. This resulted in a massive, colossal floods and thousands of earthquakes, causing widespread devastation. Noah's Anunnaki-engineered boat eventually settled on Mount Salvation. Enki came to greet him, and in a whirlwind his brother Enlil descended and discovers Enki's duplicity with the oaths to the council by helping his human son survive. Enki then convinced Enlil it was destined by the creator of all who came to him in dream vision. Subsequently, Noah and his family survived, and Earth was revived of life and biologies. The descendants of Noah then went on to rule the new land for generations to come. The story of the Watchers and the Nephilim in the Book of Enoch serves as a cautionary truth about the alien Anunnaki Watchers who were fallen angels in Sumerian or biblical text. These otherworldly beings masqueraded as God and fought over the ownership of the earth and its inhabitants. However, in this story, we do see the amazing power and resilience of mankind, and how it is bedded in our genes to surpass these beings known as cosmic engineers, who are not the true creator of the universe, but false gods. If you like this video, please share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Astral Legends for more ancient mysteries and legends. See you on the next episode.